If you want to learn how to make a perfect horror movie, lock 12 men in one building, kill them one by one, and make sure none of them know who the monster is. That's exactly what John Carpenter did in The Thing. And more than 40 years later, Hollywood still hasn't figured out how to do it again. G'day viewers, and welcome to the Hollywood Menace. Before we even get to the movie itself, it's worth remembering that The Thing has a long history. The film is based on the classic 1938 science fiction novella, Who Goes There? That story was adopted once before in the 1951 film, The Thing from Another World. But Carpenter's 82 version is the one that truly captured the terrifying idea at the center of the story. Because the monster isn't just a monster, it's a perfect imitation. The creature can copy any human being down to the cellular level. And here's a terrifying twist. When someone is copied, they don't even know they're the copy. The imitation believes it's the original person, which means paranoia becomes unavoidable. Your friend might not be your friend. And worse, he might not even know it. All right, viewers, we're about to get into spoiler territory here, so if you haven't seen the film as yet, please hit pause, go and watch it, and then come back. One of the most brilliant openings in horror history begins with something deceptively simple. A dog running across the Antarctic snow. At first it looks harmless. Then we see a helicopter chasing it. Two Norwegians are shooting at the dog like their lives depend on it. And the American researchers are completely baffled. Why would anyone shoot at a dog? And this is where the movie quietly does something absolutely brilliant. The audience immediately sympathizes with the dog. You're watching this thinking, why are they trying to kill that poor thing? But if you listen closely to what the Norwegian pilot is yelling when he's shooting at the dog,
Kom der vekk. Det har ikke en bikkje i. Det er en slags ting. Det imiterer en bikkje. Det er ikke mekanikk. Kom der vekk, idioter!
The Norwegian is effectively yelling, that's not a dog, that's a thing. The warning is right there, but the Americans can't understand him. And the audience doesn't realize it either. So the dog is welcomed into the base, and that's when the nightmare begins. It's one of the most clever pieces of dramatic irony in all of horror. The danger is right in front of everyone, including the audience, and no one realizes it. One of the reasons this movie works so well is its simplicity. Almost the entire story takes place in one location, an Antarctic research station. That's it. A handful of men, miles from civilization, no escape, no help coming, just a creature that could be any of them. Modern Hollywood often thinks movies need bigger stakes, more spectacle, more explosions, but The Thing proves the opposite. Sometimes the most powerful storytelling tool is simply asking one question. Who is it? Another lesson modern writers should remember is keeping the cast manageable. The Thing gives us about a dozen characters, enough to create suspicion, but not so many that the audience gets lost. And the film does something incredibly smart with the character names. The characters constantly call each other by name in conversation. Mac, Blair, Doc, Childs. But it never feels forced. Even better, they have name patches on their jackets. So visually the audience learns the names too. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Because when someone dies, you actually know who that was. Compare that to many modern films where halfway through you're thinking, wait, who was that guy again? And then there's the exact opposite extreme, Titanic, where every third line of dialogue sounds like,
Jack! Rose! Jack!
yes,
Rose!
we got it the first time.
Jack!
At the center of the film is Kurt Russell as helicopter pilot MacReady, and Carpenter introduces him perfectly. The first time we see Mac, he's playing chess against the computer. The computer wins. Mac accuses it of cheating and then pours whiskey into the machine until it short circuits. Right away, we understand this character. He hates losing. He doesn't trust machines, and when something crosses him, he's perfectly happy to destroy it. Mac becomes the reluctant leader, the man trying to figure out who's human and who isn't. And the creature quickly realizes something very important. Mac is the biggest threat. Which is why the Thing starts trying to frame MacReady and turn the others against him. If Mac goes down, the resistance collapses. Also, let's be honest, that hat alone deserves an Oscar. Then we arrive at one of the most legendary aspects of the entire movie, the creature effects. Before CGI, before digital monsters, there was Rob Bottin. And what he created here is still disturbing today. Dogs splitting open into writhing nightmares, human bodies transforming into grotesque creatures, and of course, the infamous defibrillator scene where the doctor reaches into a chest cavity and the ribcage suddenly becomes a mouth. Even today, audiences jump at that moment because practical effects has something CGI often lacks. They exist in the same space as the actors. They feel real, and your brain then believes them. The score is another secret weapon here. Legendary composer Ennio Morricone created something incredibly simple. A slow, ominous, heartbeat rhythm. It quietly builds dread throughout the entire film. By the end, it almost feels like the creature itself has a pulse. And then we reach one of the greatest endings in all of horror history. Mac, Childs, a burning station, a frozen Antarctic night, 2 survivors, but one final question. Is one of them the thing? Or are they both human, just waiting to freeze to death? Carpenter never answers it. And that ambiguity is exactly why the ending still works. So here's a question for you viewers. Drop it in the comments. Who do you think is the thing at the end? Is it Childs? Is it Mac? Or are they both human and the creature is already dead? So viewers, I have my own thoughts on the ending, but I'll wait to see your comments before posting up. So final verdict. What do we call a film that delivers legendary creature design, perfect suspense, iconic practical effects, a haunting score, and one of Kurt Russell's best performances, all on a modest 1982 budget? Here at the Hollywood Menace, that's a democracy manifest S-tier succulent cinematic meal, and proof that sometimes the best horror stories are the simplest ones. This has been the Hollywood Menace, serving up another succulent cinematic meal. Ta-ta, and farewell.